On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Knob Creek 12 Cask Strength Bourbon. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today we have an amazing bottle for you guys. A lot of people don't even know that this is floating around. You all know about Knob Creek 12 year, which is very popular, but they came out with a limited edition Knob Creek 12 Cask Strength. And let me tell you guys, this is one you need to be chasing. If you can't find, a lot of the Buffalo Trace BTAC collection, you can find these in Kentucky. That's where I found this, in other states, but you need to be searching this out. This is a really good bottle. Again, this is a limited release. It comes in at 124.3 proof, 12 years old, obviously. Man, you guys have got to find a bottle of this. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, let me quickly explain our scoring system. We have 7 categories. The first 2 are handicap. Those 2 categories are appearance and availability. After that, we move on to the more important categories, what's actually in the bottle. We talk about the nose, the palate, the finish, the body, and then the value. At the end, we add all those categories up. Any score of 3 or better is bar worthy. Any score of 4 or better is bunkersome, just in case the distillery no longer makes one of your favorite bottles. All right, with all that being said, let's get into our first category. That is the appearance. Alright, so as you guys can see, the appearance of this bottle, I really like it. I like the colors that Knob Creek has went to. I like the labeling. It's very clean, very modern. Love that. I still hate with a passion their corks and their wax. Come on, Knob Creek, get that shit figured out. It drives me crazy. It's just the worst. It almost makes me want to ding it more, but the appearance of the bottle is really nice. These look good on your shelves. Normally I would give the appearance a 0.7, but I'm gonna knock it because they put this stupid wax and these stupid corks on that are just impossible, so we're gonna knock it down to a 0.6. All right, moving on to availability. I have personally not seen this anywhere in Illinois. I ran across this. I stopped at a store in Kentucky and it was sitting on the shelves. So I'm not sure how available it is in Kentucky. In Illinois, it's impossible to find, never seen them. In Kentucky, it was sitting in a case, so I bought one. So we're gonna give the availability a 0.2. All right, moving on to the important stuff. Let's get into the nose, guys. Oh my gosh. This is one of those make your toes curl whiskey, man. Oh, it is so concentrated. Like so much heavy caramel, brown sugar, like burnt brown sugar, vanilla, and like dark black cherries. Goodness, nose on this is so good, guys. We're gonna give the nose a 0.8, and not because the nose is super complex, but just because what's there is so dense and so flavorful. I mean, you smell this, and you don't really have to dive deep into it. You just know you're about to taste an amazing whiskey. All right, guys, let's go to the palate. Cheers. Oh, so good. This whiskey will just put the pause in you. It is so good. You don't even want to talk. You just want to sit there and enjoy it. Again, the palate, just like the nose, isn't super complex, but what's there is so concentrated and so dense and so flavorful. It's just like massive, dense vanilla, black cherries, black cherries, like really dark black cherries. And then if you took that and what is that? It's like, it's not chocolate. It's like toasted coconut. There's certain pies. I don't even like coconut, but sometimes I like toasted coconut, like shaved coconut that's been toasted. That's what this tastes like. It's like vanilla, black cherries, really dark black cherries, and then like toasted coconut. Oh my gosh, it's fantastic. I've got to give the palate a 0.8. I don't have any specific baking spices. I'm not even sure I taste cinnamon too much, just because I'm so overwhelmed by the vanilla, black cherry, toasted coconut. I love getting toasted coconut, which is so weird because I'm not a huge coconut fan, but when I get it in a bourbon or an Irish whiskey sometimes, I absolutely love it. And this is like all over it. It is really, really good. I'm gonna give the palate a 0.8, and it's like bordering on 0.9. If I had any baking spices, a little bit more complexity to go with it, I would bump it. But if I had some like leather notes or something like that to show the age, but it's so good. And for 12 years in the barrel, it's not drying, it's not tannic. It is just, the palate is really, really nice. It's a 0.8. All right, let's move on to the finish. For me, it's like there's barrel spice. Again, I don't know that I'm getting any baking spices. I just get such strong black cherry. And the black cherry note just goes forever. It's so good. If you like black, dark cherries, man, this is your jam. It is so, so good. I'm gonna give the finish a 0.8 because it's still going. It's just barrel spice and black cherries to me. All right, the body is also a 0.8. I mean, you're talking 124.3 proof. This is oily, this is heavy, it sticks everywhere. I still have like saliva going in my mouth. It's so good. We're gonna give it a 0.8. It's like 0.8s down the line here. All right, value. When we're talking value, usually you're talking about $10 per year. You got a 12-year whiskey at Cask Strength that is really good. It actually, to me, is right up there with a lot of the BTAC collection, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. I think this stacks up to it. It is really that good. The only notes I'm missing, like last year's George T. Stagg had these amazing like leather and tobacco notes that I absolutely love. That just takes a bourbon to over the top for me. If it's all this and you can add some leather and tobacco, to me that's it. That's where you get those 0.91 scores. But as far as value goes, you're talking, I got this for $115. So we're really close to that $10 a year range. And the juice inside is just fantastic. So we're gonna give it a 0.7. All right, guys, that brings the score for Knob Creek Cask Strength 12 to a 4.3, making it bunker worthy. Again, this is right up there for me, for my palate, with some of those BTACs. It's not as complex, but again, it's so concentrated, so fantastic. And again, this isn't the Knob Creek 12. We're talking about the Knob Creek 12 Cask Strength. Knob Creek 12 is still fantastic, but just take those flavors, amplify them. I'm not sure that you'll get the toasted coconut on the 12 that I'm getting on the Knob Creek 12 Cask Strength, but it's right there. I mean, somebody poured this to me, I would be elated. It would be fantastic. I would be super happy. This is really good. More people should be talking about this and chasing this bottle, but maybe they're not, because maybe it is super limited. I'm just not sure. But we're giving it a 4.3 on the Whiskey Tornado scale. All right, moving on to our comments part of the show. I reviewed the top 5 stores in Central Illinois to hump bourbon. And in that video, I talked to you guys about forming relationships with store owners, but that how it always kind of left a little bit of an icky feeling with me when people tell you to do that. And I encourage you guys to just meet with the store owners, talk to them about business, talk to them about their families, talk to them with the expectation of nothing in return. Talk to them just because you care about them, not with the intent of them getting you bourbon. And I think too many false relationships are built that way. It seemed like a lot of you connected with that, and that makes me super happy and super proud of the bourbon community. Fred Fabrillo wrote, "Hey Lance, I'm actually in CT and do what you do. Treat folks with respect with no expectations. I think one of the challenges is that many people out there are just impatient." I think that's very true, Fred. The FOMO, the fear of missing out, the fear of like just trying to get all these bottles to impress people. And then half the time they sit on their shelves, they don't even open them. I open everything I get, guys. Every bottle I get, I open, I drink, and most importantly, I share with my friends and my Patreon members, because that's what creates memories, and that's what's important with bourbon. He said, I look at it as if it's meant to be for me to get something, it will happen. There are times it's frustrating not being able to find stuff, but I still have tons to enjoy. As always, another great video. Fred, I replied to Fred and said, Fred, you and I are on the same page, brother. I wish more people were. I often feel for these store managers. You guys have to understand, I know it's annoying that sometimes they put the hard to find stuff in the back, and it was really hard for me when I started out in my bourbon journey. But when you look at the number of flippers, people who are buying this stuff, just collecting it and then just flipping it on secondary for 2-3 times the price, they have to put some of that stuff in the back to keep people from doing that, and to only sell this stuff to people they trust and they know. So it's a hard position for them. And then it's always got to feel weird, I think, as a store owner, when people are talking to you and you know they're talking to you and being nice, just so they hope you call them sometime and give them a special bourbon. I think all the store managers and store owners know that they are under zero obligation to ever call me on a single bottle. I don't care. I am happy buying stuff off their shelves. They owe me nothing. I'm just happy to support their business and hope to keep them in business. But yeah, I just thought I would share that with you guys, because I think it's a super important point to get across to the bourbon community, because too many people are getting mad, too many people are getting frustrated with the bourbon game, when there's still fantastic bourbons out there to be had. All right, guys, I'm off my soapbox now. Thank you guys for all you do. If you want to be part of our Patreon crew, please click the link below. You can join for as little as $2 a month. We do live streams. I send lots of samples out to our Patreon members. I share everything I have, because that's what bourbon's about. It's about sharing. It's not about collecting and storing it away and flipping it and making money on secondary. All right, I love you guys very much. If you see Knob Creek 12 Cask Strength, do not pass it up. Hope this helps you guys on your bourbon journey. Cheers, everybody.